Hi, happy evening. Happy evening, Fatima. Glad to see you here in UI UX class as well. As the time is 7 p.m. now, it is the time for us to start the class. So before we could start, I'd like to give you an insight, a complete insight on what and how you can have expectation towards this particular boot camp, 5 days boot camp on UI and UX design. So the previous week was about graphic design, and this week it is going to be about UI and UX design. So together, the 10 days of the boot camp, which included the syllabus of graphic design to UI UX design, is now in its second phase. I am proudly addressing you all here in this sixth day of our boot camp, which is organized by Rotary Club of Madras Metro and presented and supported by Tech-iera Innovations Private Limited. So, having said this, I just want to know the energy of the people here in the room on knowing how excited you are. So, to let me know about the same, you can please type in your name and your register number here in this live chat. So please don't worry, it is just going to be confidential because this is the closed door meeting, which is only included with WCC girls, expectly. I mean, especially, yeah. Sorry. Yes. So let me know about the same here in the live chat. Superb. So, as people have started commenting, so now I guess it is the time for us to start off with knowing what is UI and UX design and how is this UI and UX design different or similar to the graphic design that we learned before. Okay, so at the end of this 5 days boot camp, which is inclusive of user interface and user experience design, you as an individual, if you are bringing in and putting in the effort of creating the tasks that we give you, I am damn sure that you will be able to create a minimalistic applications interface, okay, user interface with proper analysis and other research, okay. So, having said that, I am also expecting the same level of commitment from all of you guys because without you practicing the tool or techniques, you will not be able to know or understand or even practice what I am addressing here. Right? So, yes. So, proceeding further, as I am getting in few evening messages here, I also want you guys to register your attendance in the initial stage of the class by typing in your name and then your serial number, which is your college register number here in the live chat, so that our team can make a note of the people whoever are participating. Good. Okay. So now we will dive in deep into the user interface and user experience design. So whatever we discussed in the previous week about graphic design, okay. So we discussed that it is how the user feels when the user looks into your design. Okay. So how good the user feels, how colorful the user is able to feel your when he looks at your design. So all these kind of visual aspects we went through. right? And also we went through few other topics wherein we discussed about different uh, elements of design. Okay, so when we discussed about different elements of design, so here, as I am already receiving your register number and your names over here, now we are moving to the next question, wherein I'm going to ask you to type in the elements of design that you remember. What are all the elements of design you remember? You can just type in one by one. Yes, thank you so much for sending your attendance over here, guys. So later the part of the session, you will also be given with the attendance link wherein you can register your attendance over there as well. So meanwhile, now we will go to our next question, which I am asking you to type in the elements of design that you have. I mean, that you remember from what we learned in the last week. Okay, so FIBA has said it is shape, line, form, shape, superb, point, line, shape, form, texture, color. Very good. Color, point, value. Okay, good. Texture. Amazing, amazing. Yes. So that is an amazing set of answers of whatever we are receiving here. So this shows how committed and how responsible you feel towards the class that has been organized. Good. So now proceeding further, okay, we are now going to see what is UI design and what is UX design and how are these two different from each other. Okay, so when we talk about UI design, right? So it is called as user interface design. Okay, so I would also please recommend you guys to take up a paper and a pen and please make note of whatever I am addressing over here. So UI design is called as user interface design and UX design is called as user experience design. Okay, so as the names here rightly says, user interface design. Okay, interface is something that is related to the visual form of a design. Okay, how aesthetic a design looks to be seen. Okay, so here that is what it's mentioned as in terms of aesthetics. So aesthetics includes the color, texture, so whatever design elements we saw in the graphic design, so all those design elements are included here in this user interface design, okay, which is related to the visual element of the design. Okay, and now when we talk about UX design, it is about the user experience design. Okay, so here when we talk about user experience design, so as the name again points, experience over here, it is what it is about the feeling that your user gets when they get to work with your design. Okay, for example, okay, so over here I'd like to give you an example. So here I'll just search for Swiggy. Okay, right. So here I've just searched for Swiggy. All right. So now as I scroll down, or even if I go to Amazon, okay. So as I scroll down, or as I tend to use the application, okay, how easy do I feel to match the searches that I am searching for, or how many categories I get to see over here. Okay, so if I am able to relate my kind of that shopping spree with this online shopping. okay, as we do in physical shopping. Is this online shopping also giving me the same kind of excitement and experience as I am using the application? Okay, so all these types of points are included in user experience design. So a user experience designer takes care of the complete usage process of an application. Okay, and the application might be anything. It can be a web app, it can be a mobile app, or it can be a website, or it can be an e-commerce site. Okay, e-commerce is nothing but these Amazon, Flipkart, and all these things. Okay, so any type of application which is coming up, the usability of the application, or how the user is feeling towards using the application, so everything is discussed and analyzed and given a design by the UX designer. Okay, so this is how UI designer and UX designer differ from each other. So UI designer, I am just concluding it once more so that you can please take a short note of it. UI designer is called as the user interface designer, wherein the designer takes care of the visual representation of a design. So whether the design look aesthetically good when we see them. And UX designer is also called as user experience designer, wherein the designer takes care of the complete usability of an application. Okay, that application needn't has to be only mobile or web, or not anything in particular. So whatever type of application it is, the usability feature of that particular application is taken care by the user experience designer. Okay, so this is the mere difference between UI designer and UX designer. If you have understood the difference between the UI designer and UX designer, before we get into the topic, I want you guys to let me know which designer you personally want to become as. Whether you want to concentrate on the aesthetic feeling of the uh, design, or whether you want to take up the responsibility of creating a good usable application. So which designer you want to personally become as, you can type in the chat box of whatever designer you want to become even before we dive into the concept. UI designer, okay. So, Sneha, I am assuming that you are an artist. So, you concentrate on the design elements. Okay. Fatima also wants to be a UI designer. Good. I know it might be a bit difficult to judge and decide between UI designer and UX designer in this stage, but I am amazed by the kind of answers that you give me. So many of you here want to become as a UI designer. Okay, okay, okay. So Hashni has said she wants to become UX designer. So same with Shakti. Okay, very good. Yes. So as we are getting diversified answers over here, now without making you girls wait, I will again dive into the difference between being a graphic designer and transforming you to a UI and UX designer. Okay, so when we are going into the field, all right, so when we are getting into the production as a UI UX designer or a graphic designer, the first criteria what you will look up to when you are trying to get a job from a company, what is the first criteria that you will look up to? Could you please tell me the same here in the chat box? What is the criteria that you, as a person who is seeking job in a company, will look up to? I'll repeat the question again. So, as a person who is going to search a job in a company, what will be the criteria that you personally will look up for in a company? So, you will consider how big or small is the company, whether the company is an MNC or whether the company is a startup or whether the company is a product based company or service based company. What else you will look up? Okay, don't we see for the salary that the company gives us? Obviously, as a person who seeks a job anywhere, we as an individual look up for the salary that the company is giving you, right? So in that aspect, if you are a graphic designer, okay, so you will have a package of nearly 15 to 20 or 20 maximum. Okay, so from 10 to 20 you can expect your package, that is 10K to 20K per month. Okay, so 20K might be your maximum salary package that you will get for a month. Okay, in case if you are a UI UX designer, the kind of package that you can expect from a company might be around um, might be around 3 to 5 LPA or even 15 LPA if you are that capable, which merely equals to 25,000 on an average per month to at least 1 lakh or something for a month. Okay, so depending on the type of experience that you have, your salary package might be in that differential area. Okay, so over here what I would like to tell you guys is it doesn't mean that graphic design is in a lesser cadre and UI UX design is on the upper side of it. Okay, it is not at all like that. It is just that the UI UX designer will know the statistics, the theory, the strategy that they have to have towards designing an interface. Okay, so a UI UX designer merely designs something based on the user's expectation and not just stopping with that, in a way like how the user will understand it. Okay, but a graphic designer is a person who just concentrates on a visual representation of the design. Okay, they don't focus on how the user might see it or how the user might feel it when they look at a design. So they just focus on the visual element of the design. Okay, so now here we'll see something first. Right. So I'll just go to some particular category over here. Okay, I'm just searching for the appropriate one to show you guys. Okay, so now I'll just go to this birthday store. Okay, so here as a as a graphic designer, the designer will focus on the visual elements. Okay, like in where or how the design is, whether the color is pleasing, all that. Okay, but if the same design is thought by a UI UX designer, the UI UX designer will first analyze what type of design it is expected to be. Okay, so over here it is expected to be a birthday store. Okay, wherein we kind of gift purchase gifts for men, women, boys, girls, like that. Okay. So if someone is relating to a birthday, okay, it is that they will be able to. Okay, now as I am coming up with this question, I would like to get answers from you guys. Wherein, when you think of birthdays, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? Can you please type in the answer? When you think of birthdays, what are the things that comes up in your mind? You can please type in the answers in a word here in the chat box. What are the things that come up in your mind if you think about birthdays? Type that in the chat box. Okay, cake. Good. Then decors, gifts, yummy food. What else? Cake, chocolate. Okay. Right. So, what the UI or the UX designer will think over here is, if it is something that is related to birthday, okay, what the user will be able to relate themselves with when they think about birthday. In that aspect, when you see over here, okay, so the images, the circles which are over here itself has all that kind of things that are specifically used in birthdays and all the celebration times. Okay, so the hats, right, then the decors over here. So all these kind of things over here, we do have the representation of poppers, which is almost which is again the most commonly used thing when it comes to birthday celebration. So like that, the UI and UX designer will think it of in such a way that the design goes well with the user's emotion. So now just go through this page. Okay, when we just go through the page from top till bottom, we kind of keep on having that kind of festive celebration feel that we can have, right? So from starting this area, we are able to relate with that happy birthday quote. If we are having a birthday celebration, then over here it says gift for. Okay, but when it says gift for, so in its left and right, the masks are given over here again, which are the most celebrated things when it comes to celebration. So then we have the categories. Okay, so gifts, it's just that if you remove off all these kind of elements and see, it just says gifts for men, women, boys and girls. Okay, but since that it is related to birthday, these kind of masks and the kind of decors that the designer has decided to show on the image, so all these things are making it look additionally exclusive, that letting the user know and relate that these things are somewhere or the other connected with the user, isn't it? So here also, if you see, just the heading is gifting ideas, but next to it, you are able to see some two hats that are shown. And once you just scroll down, so again the same shape over here. Okay, so we also learned how to create these kind of shapes using Illustrator, and also using pen tool or circle or whatever it is, we can create this kind of same representation. But the kind of feeling that we get when we look at this is additionally a kind of added cherry on the cake, right? So here we have the paupers representation that are shown up, and as we come scroll down, okay, so here we have one additional section that shows the cupcakes that are displayed over here. I know I might make you people drool over the cakes and chocolates, but please pardon me for it. So we'll just I mean, I'm just trying to convey you guys that a UI or a UX designer tries to exactly capture the emotions and requirements of the end user. But a graphic designer will think from the perspective of visual representation alone. Okay, so this is the mere difference between graphic designer and a UI UX designer. Okay, and now when we uh, talk about the design aesthetics, or the kind of approach that a UI UX designer and a graphic designer have. Okay, it doesn't mean that there are categories in design. Okay, so a UI UX designer also can design a poster. A UI UX designer also can design a business card. A graphic designer also can design a good looking page for a website. Okay, it doesn't mean that they have to limit in their own areas. It is not at all like that. Okay, if you are able to visualize and if you are able to empathize the user's feeling, then obviously you can create good designs, whichever design you take up. Okay, so that is the complete idea on where and how and why a graphic designer is different from a UI UX designer, and how a UI UX designer is able to empathize with the user when comparing with the graphic designer. So if you have understood all these things about a graphic designer and a UI UX designer, you can please type in understood here in the live chat, so that I can know that you guys are clear with whatever we are seeing till now. All right. So as we are receiving the answers, now I'm going to go further and uh, tell you few more interesting things and show you a few more attractive things that you guys will really love. Right. So here, okay, Jasmine, you want me to repeat it again? All right. So I'll just conclude it here. So a graphic designer is someone who takes care of the visual representation to let the I mean, to bring in the proper attractive visual representation of a design, right? But a UI and UX designer takes care of the responsibility in creating a design which is really attractive for the user. Okay, so they think from the user's perspective. Okay, so how this will be consumed by the user, or what the user will expect when they look into this particular design that we are going to show up. So like that, the UI UX designer will empathize with the user, and then they will be recreating the design accordingly. Okay, so this is the exact precise thing that I told about the difference between the graphic designer and the UI UX designer. So having said this now, okay, so now we are just going to go through some few of the things that a UI UX designer thinks about. Okay, so a UI UX designer thinks about the features in the application. Okay, so what are all the features that can be in this application, and how the user is feeling when they are using it, and what things would be in that product, and how they work. Okay, so these are all the four different aspects which a UX designer will take care. Okay, so again, if we go through this, when we look at it, we ourselves by default get that kind of festive feeling, right? Just by the poppers representation and the color theme itself, right? So, and also some of the visual representation that merely reminds us about typical birthday celebration, so all that, right? So like that, the UX designer will think about the features, whatever features can be given for this particular application. And in this case, now let's talk about any Ola or Uber or something, okay? Or even take music apps, okay? So, what are the music apps that you guys frequently listen to? What are the music applications that you guys know or you frequently listen to? Shall we take this Amazon Music? Okay, wherein when we take this Amazon Music, okay, so you have a feature of of voice recognition. Okay, so wherein you tell the name of the song, and then the suggestion for that song is given. Okay, okay, so we are getting Spotify over here a lot. So yes, so each application has its own different features. So in this aspect, when we talk about Amazon Music, okay, so over there we kind of um, tell the system that play so and so song. Okay, so then immediately it will either play or it will either suggest us the song that we asked for. So, how does this feature help a user? Okay, so in this aspect, now let's think of a scenario. All right, so you are doing some work at home, okay, and your hands seem to be occupied, or your hands are wet. You are not able to operate each and every feature of the application. So in that case, you want to change the song, or you want to play some other song. Okay, so in that thing, what you will do if you don't have a voice recognition, so immediately you will either exit from the application, or you will tend to move to the other application that has the feature of voice recognition. Okay, because the voice recognition feature has made your experience to be easy. Okay, so here by thinking this problem, okay, what is the problem? The user's hand is occupied. Okay, so I'll just type in these things over here. Let me just move all these things and keep. Okay, so here I am going to write few things where we are going to know how features help a UX designer or to design better things. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'll just Okay. So here, let me insert a new. All right. So now I am going to write the problems that I can face if in case I'm not able to operate my application. Okay. So first problem is my hands are occupied or wet, something. Second thing, I want to make some change in the app. Okay, like change the song or increase the volume. Okay, or play a new song or something like this. Okay, so now what if in case the user undergoes these kind of problems? Okay, so what can be added, what feature can be added to the application so that our user stays in? Okay, now imagine there is no voice recognition feature in Amazon Music. Okay, so in that aspect, what you will do, the user will switch to the other application that has voice recognition feature, right? Or the user will feel frustrated towards the application that makes the user stop that stops the user from using the app. Okay. Okay, so both these things are harmful for the creator, right? So in this aspect, if we want our user to sustain in the application, or if we want to make the user application in a prolonged aspect, it means that we have to give some features that will resolve the set of problems. Okay, so here what we can do is, what is the feature that can be brought is obviously the voice recognition. Just by holding a phone or just by a single swipe, okay, the user can talk to the phone, so that the application will respond back to the user saying that your song is being played, or please pick or choose some song from the existing list. Okay, wherein the user's journey is made simple. Okay, so to design some features like this, or to know how the user is feeling while using them. Okay, so now let's say, now that we have added voice recognition feature to the system. Okay, imagine our parents or our grandparents don't know English. Okay, but the system is giving back answers only in English. So over there, could you please type in one word on how your parents or grandparents who don't know English might feel? So if your parent or grandparent tends to ask a question or tends to address something in Tamil, and if the system is responding back in English, which is not known by the person, the user, how will the user feel? If you are able to grasp that feeling, you can please type in the chat box in one word on how the user, how you think the user will feel if they face this kind of situation. Yes, are you not able to relate with it? You want me to repeat the question again? Okay, so Fatima has given us the answer like the user will feel confused. Yes, obviously, Fatima. So, as she has addressed rightly here, the user will feel confused. The user will feel demotivated. The user will, I mean, there is a possibility that negative emotions can come up for the user. Okay, so this also the UX designer takes care of, okay, how the user is feeling while using them. So now here we were just surfing through the birthday store of Amazon, okay. So when we go through it, just when we scroll through it, we are very happy to see the kind of color tones and the type of design that is given over here, that itself is creating that kind of festive vibe, right? So this also the user experience designer takes care of. The UX designer takes care of the user's feeling while using them. And next to it, what things would be in that product, okay? So when we talk about this, I have to tell you that when you have a requirement to design the UI or the UX for an application, okay. So now imagine some travel applications, be it Make My Trip or be it a Red Bus or something. Okay, so what is the thing that you are able to see in Make My Trip or Red Bus or any other travel applications? What is the thing that you are able to witness over there? Have you used these applications? If you have used, can you please type in the answer in a word in the chat box on what are the things that you are able to see in Make My Trip or Redbus kind of applications? So we will be having the interface of the application which shows us different from and to from the location and the destination, and we will have the different types of transport that are available, whether it is going to be train or whether it is going to be by flight or whether it is going to be by bus or something like that. Okay, but if we go through this site IRCTC, okay, which is the government site for the travel, all right. So here, recently when I went through this, I was amazed by the kind of features that the application has got. So previously, if you had, if you had signed in to IRCTC any time before some 5 years or 6 years, you might feel so frustrated to use the application because the application keeps giving you some error answer back, okay, but it will not tell you what the error is. But now also the feature, that problem is existing actually, but here additionally what we are able to see is we are also able to see different types of, different modes of transportation that we can have, okay, not just trains. We can also see buses, flights. Okay, not stopping with the mode of transportation, we can also see whether we are going to book any hotel or whether we are going for a holiday. Okay, so whether we are seeing for catering, okay, or is it about the promotions or any other thing, okay. So here if I choose holidays, all right, so here in holidays I'm given with different types of options, okay. So in those options I'm able to see tourist trains, tour packages and stays, okay. And here when I click on this tourist trains, So here I am able to see the especially made tourist trains over here. Okay, Bharat Gaurav, Maharaja's Express, and Golden Chariot. And next to it, if I'm witnessing this tour packages, I'm able to see two different options, which shows me domestic packages and international packages. All right, and if I am going to prefer stays, whether it is going to be the retiring room or whether it is going to be the launch. Okay, so here if I choose this tour packages, okay, so what are the packages are possible for a user to take up, whether the user is going to take up any domestic packages. Okay, now for I mean, just to show you guys, I am choosing this tour packages, and I'm just right clicking over here in the domestic packages and giving open link in new tab. The same way I'm going to open international packages also in another tab. All right, so when I choose this domestic packages, okay, so whatever place is possible within India, so all those things are all those spots are shown over here. Okay, whichever is a famous destination, so all those destinations are put together here, and also along with the cost and other details that the user can take a look. So when we also prefer for international packages, so the same way we are also able to see different types of international packages that one can have. Okay, so over here, if we see dashing Dubai with Abu Dhabi. Okay, so duration, it tells about what is the duration of the stay, and from where the transportation is available. So the origin for boarding the transport is from Lucknow, and the destination is Abu Dhabi. Okay, so and then which is the departure date, and when the date is expected to come, and all that. Okay, and also it inclusively says that whatever is included in that particular package. Okay, so these are the types of improvisations that a product can have. All right, so now I am back over here. Why I told you all these things are because the UX designer takes responsibility in knowing and analyzing what the user will expect towards the product. Okay, so as a designer, you will just be given with the requirement on the product. Okay, the client will simply tell you that I need a travel app. Okay, and the travel app should have should possess every feature in it. This is all the input you will receive from the client or your boss. Okay, so once you receive this, you have to start doing groundwork in analyzing, in researching whatever features are possible to be given for this particular application, and whatever feature the user will expect. Okay, and after doing all these things, you have to write what things would be in that product. Okay, so once you have brought in this, then you will also have to tell how they work. Okay, so if you are giving one feature, you also have to give the data on how you have visualized to make it work. Okay, if you are saying voice recognition, you have to tell, okay, voice recognition is the feature, and I am expecting it to be working in this aspect. Okay, this is the exact method that the voice recognition should work. So all these kind of inputs, you as a UX designer will take the responsibility. If you have understood the complete role and responsibility of a UX designer, can you please type in what has impressed you the most about being a UX designer here in the chat? Just in a word. not to take so much of your time, I just want you guys to enter in just a word on what you feel impressed towards being a UX designer. Are we getting the answers? Any one thing that you feel that you are you are amazed by the role or responsibility of the UX designer. Making platform more functional. Very good. Okay, any other answer apart from Jocelyn's answer? No other answer? Okay, fine. Okay, but Jocelyn, the answer that you have given has to be appreciated. Very good for it. I am sure that you have understood the role and responsibility of a UX designer. All right. So now, having said this, now we'll go to the role and responsibilities of a UI designer. Okay, the user interface designer. So here, as we were discussing about the different roles and responsibilities of UX designer, here we are going to see about the UI designer's roles and responsibilities. So the first thing that the UI designer will take care of is how things will look while using them. Okay, whether it will be visually appealing or not, or how it will be. Okay, so all these types of things the UI designer will take care of. And the spacing. Okay, so here also when you go through this particular page, okay, which we were saying before, if you could see, there will be proper spacing which are shown over here. Okay, so all these kind of differences in the display. Okay, so again, the UI designer will takes care of that spacing. Then how the options should be laid out, how much info is on each screen. Okay, and also there is one more important thing, that you should not crowd your pages with multiple options. Okay, you have to keep them minimalistic in order to bring the best results. Okay, so this also belongs to the UI designer. Then where to put things so it's easy for the user. Then typography. Typography is something that tells about the font. Okay, the usage of the font, size of it, the style, font style. Okay, and how big or how small each font can be used. So over here also, if you could see, the first line is in different appearance, and the second line is made to look bold. Okay, so the difference in this, so these are all things called as typography. Okay, so this typography also the UI designer takes care of. And then colors. Okay, so what color can be used where, and what are all the colors that attract the user and all that. So when we talk about colors, there is something called as color psychology. Okay, psychology of colors. That day I was addressing you in the orientation. So I was telling you that yellow color is called as attention seeking color. So like that, I was addressing you about the color psychology as well the previous day. But here in this 5 days of boot camp, we will also go through a deeper dive on the psychology of colors as well. Okay, so having said this, we have a UI designer also takes care of style and spacing, again boldness and the number of items. So these are all the roles and responsibilities of a UI designer. So if you could take a closer look on the roles and responsibilities of a UI designer versus UX designer, you will clearly be able to differentiate that this UX designer is more about concentrating on user experience, and this UI designer takes care of making the design look more appealing and more attractive. So these are the roles and responsibilities of a UX designer and UI designer. All right. Now, having said that, we are going to go further. So here, some of you might have a question on how or what designer should I choose? Is there any salary package difference when it comes to UX designer or UI designer, or the importance of a UX designer is greater than the UI designer, or the UI designer is given a lot more of importance than a UX designer, or is there a possibility of hike in the salary if I'm going to be UX designer and not a UI designer? Will I be considered as a graphic designer if I'm also a UI designer? So there can be a lot of questions running through in your mind. Okay, so for all of you who are thinking that these two are different and one person cannot do both these things, then probably I would say that you might be wrong. Okay, it is not different. UI designer, even though the roles and responsibilities and the areas that UI designer and the UX designer takes care of are different, one person can take up the role of UX designer as well as UI designer. Okay, because it is always good that you as an individual get to know uh, the UI designers and UX designers roles and responsibilities as well. Okay, because a lot of MNCs, okay, some big companies prefer to take in UX designer separately and UI designer separately. But a lot of startups that have the possibility to hire you, okay, so they do not take UX designer and UI designer as two separate persons. They will take only one person who takes care of the responsibility of both the UX designer and the UI designer. Because even though if you are not concentrating on startups, even though if you're concentrating on MNC, okay, you generally as a designer should know how a user will expect the design to be, or how the user will feel while they are using the design. In that aspect, you also have to know the roles and responsibilities and the works that the UX designer does. Similarly, vice versa, the UX designer should also know the type of areas that the UI designer concentrates. The UX designer should also know the visual elements of a design. Okay, so this is the precise introduction about UI and UX design. If you all have understood the precise introduction or what is UI design and UX design, and how UI UX designer are different or same, or how are they different from a graphic designer, please type in understood here in the live chat. Okay, good. Start typing in the um, chat box so that we can proceed for the next upcoming things. So the next task that you are going to get is going to be really exciting. I can assure you in that. Yes, I am just waiting for your understood comments so that we can proceed for the next topic that we have in the row. Or if you are having any kind of doubt or query, you can also please type in that. I will just give you some 2 minutes of time to type the same so that your doubt also will be clarified clearly. Has anyone got any query? No query? Yes, girls, come on, keep the energy going up because we are just in the introduction. We have lot more important and good things that are coming up. Yes, superb. Okay, Hashni has given us a green signal. For all with Hashni. You can also please type in understood if you have understood, or if you have any doubt or query that I have to address, you can also type in the same. Okay, superb. So, with this, we are going to proceed further. Okay, but this time I want you guys to react to what I am going to show. Okay, so now I am going to show you all an image. All right. Okay. Now I am going to display an image for all of you over here. Okay. And you are going to do something for me. All right. Okay. So here I have displayed an image. Okay. I am going to keep this particular image shared. All right. So now you are going to do an activity and crowd my WhatsApp with messages. Okay, so that is what you are going to do. What you are going to do is take a paper and a pen or pencil, all right, you are going to draw whatever you are able to see here. Okay, so you are going to take a paper, pen or pencil, and you are going to draw whatever you are seeing here in this image. Okay, and I'm going to give you some 5 minutes of time to draw the same. Capture the image in your phone and send it to my WhatsApp number from which you are receiving messages. Come on, start. Your time starts now. The time is 8:06 right now. Okay, I will get the exact clock. Okay, it's 8:06. Okay, your time will start from 8:07 and it will go till 8:12. Okay, so till 8:12 you have time to draw whatever you are able to see here. I don't want you to color and all. Just take a paper, pen or pencil and then draw the exact thing that you are able to see here and take a picture and send that picture to my WhatsApp number. Your time has started at 8:12. Your time will end. Superb. I have received response from Jocelyn. So I'm also expecting the output from others as well. Meanwhile, as you guys keep sending me the images that you have drawn, here I'm posting your attendance link for today. You can please give your attendance in that and please get back. So we have lots more. So the attendance link is posted here. It's 8:12. So those who have not yet sent me your um, images, you can please send it to me. Yes, I have received from 10 of you. So others, whoever have not um, sent the images, start sending soon. That's okay. Even if you don't know drawing, even if you're bad in drawing, you can just draw and send whatever you are able to see here. You needn't have to be accurate and good. Okay, superb. I'm receiving good drawings here. I have lastly received it from Nikita. Others who have not yet sent me your images, you can please do it right now. Superb. Yes, so I have received it from Jocelyn, Charudashna, and Nuseba Ayman, Jivita, Keethna, Nikita, Hashni, whoever has not yet, Padma Priya, Vovia. So whoever has not yet sent me the images, do it faster so that we can go for the next one. Okay, good. Superb. Yes. So as you guys have, I mean, I hope that you guys have also registered your attendance for the day. If you have not yet done it, please do the same as well and get back. We will talk about this drawing that I asked you to do. Fine. Very good. Yes. So as we have received images from a lot of you here, okay, now it's the time for us to discuss why did I ask you to draw it, okay? So when you take a closer look at this image, okay, What are all the things you are able to see? Can you please type it in a word here in the chat box? When you take a closer look at the image which is displayed over here, what are all the things that you are able to see in the box or around the box? Please type it in a word here in the chat. Pen, pencil, okay, good. What else you are able to see here in the box or around the box? Pencils, okay, very good. Pen, depth, okay. Okay, fine, good. Right, pen, pencil, pencil box. Okay, yes. Now I'm going to proceed for the next question. Okay. Are you able to guess from which direction or from which position this image might have been captured? Okay, Anita says like 3D. Okay. I hope Anita is saying for the previous question. Yeah, Anita, I understood. No, no worries. I'll repeat the question again. If you look at this image, are you able to visualize or are you able to assume from where this image might have been captured? Where would have been the camera's position while capturing this image? Where do you think the camera's position might have been? You can type that in the chat box. What position you think that the camera might have been in when the image was captured? Right corner. Okay. Any other answer? Any other answer apart from right corner? Where do you think, you needn't have to be right, but where do you think the camera might have been placed to capture this image? From the left side of the box? You mean from here? Okay, any other answer? Just your assumption on where you think the camera's position might have been placed. Okay, so when we take a closer look at the image, it clearly feels down to where you pointed. Okay, so here. So when we visualize this as an image that has a camera in front of it, okay, so in the last week when we were discussing about Photoshop, okay, when we tried to bring the girl of the subject from some other image, and when we try to fix it in some other image, okay, so there I had addressed one sentence. I told you that if we make the girl uh, if we place the girl a bit bigger and closer, okay, so that bigger, um, however big the size of the subject is, it means that the subject is that closer to the camera. I told you this one. Okay. So the same logic is here. So when we see this as a complete image, okay, this side is where it feels a bit bigger, okay, a bit closer to. All right. So it means that the camera was placed on right side of the box diagonally but on top. Okay, so it means that the camera was placed in this position, but the photo was captured from the top right angle. Okay, which has shown us even this depth which we are able to see here. Okay, so this is first thing. Now, apart from the camera angle, what else are you able to see here in or around the box? Apart from pen, pencils, and pencil box, are we able to see some dark shade over here, and here as well? So, what do the dark shades over in these places denote us? What do the darker shades denote us? So when we see this as an image collectively, we are also able to see some dark shades in these positions. Okay. Some of you have sent me that darker positions as well. So here Jessica has highlighted this darkness over here, and who else? Anshi Esdar has also highlighted the dark shade over here. Similarly, Padma Priya has also beautifully given us the dark shade over here and also here. Good. And added to Padma Priya, we also have Nikita who has highlighted the dark shades over here. And who else has highlighted that? Jivita has highlighted the same, and Jocelyn also has highlighted the dark shade over here, but not here. So I appreciate people whoever has shown the dark shades in these kind of areas which I pointed now. So what do these dark shades denote you? Can you type that in the chat box? What do the dark shades over here denote? Do the dark shades denote you anything in particular? If yes, what is the one particular thing that the dark shades denote you when it comes to an image? The dark shades denotes the shadow present in the image, right? Position, angle, distance of object. Yes, it precisely means that it denotes the shadow present in the image. Okay, if there is shadow present in an image, okay, what does it mean? When will an object cast its shadows? Can you type your answer here in the chat? When will an object cast a shadow? Yes, good. So when will an object cast a shadow? Will an object cast a shadow when it is dark? When will an object cast a shadow? So when there is a light source, okay, when there is a light source, the object casts a shadow. Do you agree it? When there is any source of light in the image given, okay, so then an object will cast its shadow, right? So here when we see the shadows over here and all, from which direction do you think the light source is coming from? So here we are able to, yes, Ruth, superb. So when there is light, we will be seeing, an object will cast its shadow. So in that aspect, where do you think that the light source was in this image? Anyone can answer if you are able to guess it. From where do you think that the light source was kept when this image was taken? You can just give some random assumptions. Let's just play that kind of game where you give random assumptions and let's see who gets it right. Upper left corner. Very good. So the light source might have been coming from the upper left corner, so that when the light source falls on the object and the shadow has casted on the right side of the object. Okay. So whatever we saw now, okay. So this, okay. Yes, Ruth, Jeevita, everyone have got your answers right. Yes, obviously it comes from the upper left corner on of the object. Okay. So this is the visualization you have to keep when you are designing your user interface design. Okay. So the topic or the process of whatever we were going through from 8 o'clock is called as perception drawing. Okay, so it is called as perception drawing. So this perception drawing is very important for each of you when you are dealing with the buttons or designing user interface. Okay, so as a result of today's task, you will be receiving an image that is captured by me. Okay, so you will receive that image in your WhatsApp. So you have to again draw that image and send it back to me in the very same number with the shadows or with whatever details are present, and how you are able to see that image. Okay, I'm not asking you to exactly show me what is it. You just have to draw the image from the perception that you are able to see by giving all the depth in the image that you are able to see. If you are able to see any depth, you can draw the depth. If you are not able to see the depth in the image, you can just draw whatever you are able to see. So this will be your task for the day. Okay, so now having said this, now I'm just going to show you the different types of depth that we can give. Okay, so as I'm going to talk about the designing softwares that we are going to use. Okay, so here in this 5 days of boot camp, we are going to see about the software which is called as Figma. Okay, Figma. So Figma is the tool that we will be using to create different user interfaces for the application. Okay, so when we talk about the software, it is for your notice that Figma can be used from web. You need not have to install it in your system. Okay, so as you type in Swiggy or Amazon, just like that, and you get to access the entire app, the same way Figma can also be used by typing in Figma. Okay, once you give this Figma login, okay, it will ask you to log in from an account. So here I am just giving in the first link where I am able to see Figma login. Okay, once I give Figma login, if you are a person who are using this Figma for the very first time, you might have to create one. Okay, create a new account, and then you can use that account. Okay, once you have created the account, you can just give continue with Google, and whichever account you are going to use with, you can just click on it, and then your Figma interface will be seen like this. Okay, so this is how Figma appears, the interface of Figma. Okay, so here itself, okay, so here in Figma we have some three different options. Okay, so two are used as design softwares. I mean, one is used as design software and one is used as a planning software, and this one you can import files from other software. Okay, that is the third option here. So now, as of now, we will be using both this design file and also the FigJam. Okay, so this is new design file takes you to the place where you can design different buttons or different user interfaces. So here, which you are seeing as FigJam file. So here you can make the planning for your user interfaces. Okay, so when we talk about planning, all right, so have you guys dealt with this mind map? How many of you have drawn mind map in your school or college? Can you please tell yes in the chat if you have drawn mind map? If you have drawn mind map, you can just type in yes here in the chat box to let me know if you have drawn mind map. Okay, yes. So we have started receiving yeses here. So the same way how you have drawn mind map for your file, okay, I mean for your lesson plan or something like that. Similarly, when you are planning an application, you can draw different types of planning schedules, okay. So here in that aspect, I'm just going clicking this plus icon here, okay. So then one interface will appear like this. So here, I can choose which I am going to take it. If I'm going to just bring in brainstorm, or if I'm going to show some flow chart, or if I'm going to plan some agenda, okay, or I can just give more templates so that that template will be taken. Okay, now here, let's say I am just going to bring in some basic what is it, yeah, so I'll just bring in some alignment scale. Okay, if I just click on it, that alignment scale will appear here. Now what I can do is I can go here and I can type in whatever I want to have over here. Okay, so in this way I can plan for my entire application. Okay, so this is how fig jam works. Okay, not just this. If you want to make some edits, you can also take this marker and draw something. You can swap between colors. You can control the brush sizes. Okay, and then you can also choose some random colors. You can erase whatever you have created. Okay, and you can use different highlighters. All right, and you can also bring in this sticky notes type of appearance. Okay, this will be so cute. I have seen this. Yeah. Okay, so we have all these types of tapes, right? So where once we have written something, we'll just bring in this tape. So that can be there. All right. So if you want, you can just change the colors. Okay, so like this, you can also change the tapes textures. Okay, so once you have created some plan, you can bring in all these types of tapes. Okay, so you can just pin them. So like this, you can deal with different tools here in this Fig Jam. Okay, so basically, for your understanding, what you should remember is Fig Jam is something that is used for planning a user interface. Okay, then here, new design file. If you go to this new design file, you will be able to create the user interfaces, different types of user interfaces. So this is for your understanding. All right. So yes, having said this, all right, I don't want to crowd you guys so much with everything saying in the first day itself. Okay, so for the next 4 days, we will split up um as UX designer, UX designs for some 1 or 2 days, and UI designs for 1 or 2 days, or wherever if we are able to collaborate, we will also collaborate and see the tools and techniques that we can handle in Figma, and to derive one a good applications interface. Okay, so this is going to be our task for the next 4 days. All right, so now here I am just going to go inside this design file. Okay, so today I am just going to explain you the interface of Figma. Okay, so I will again type in and show you how you can access Figma. So you just have to go to Chrome, okay, and then open a tab, then type in Figma login. So once you have typed in as Figma login, you have to go inside this link which says www.figma.com, then login. Okay, once you give this whichever account you are using, you can just hit continue with Google and choose your Google account so that your Figma will be opened. Okay, so as of now you are not going into this Fig Jam. Okay, you are just going to concentrate on this design file. So once you give this plus, okay, a new design file will be created. All right, so once it is created here, if you type in on this untitled, okay, so if you just keep your cursor like this over here, then you can rename the file. Okay, so here I am just giving it as rcwcc. Okay, so now if I want to handle some other file, okay, so in that case what I can do is, here I have one F symbol, okay, and then if I click the drop down, it gives me an option called as back to files. Okay, so if I give this back to files option, if I click on it, I will be again redirected to the Figma file that Figma interface. Okay, so now how can I go back to the file that I started working on? So for that you have to click on this recents. Okay, once you click on this recents, so whichever file you have created newly, okay, so those files will be appearing over here. Again you have to just double click on it and open. So this is how you can swap between the working file and then the other files that have been created previously. Okay, so next to this, we will just see the interface now. All right, so I told you how to rename your project. Okay, after this rename, here we have a set of tools. Okay, the first icon that we are able to see here is this F. Okay, so here if I click this F drop down, I'm able to see some main menu options. Okay, where I see this file, edit, view. Okay, some different options that I'm able to see here in the main menu. So next to this main menu, we have an icon over here which is similar to the selection tool or the selection tool in Illustrator or the move tool in Photoshop. Okay, so here we are able to, if I click the drop down, I'm able to see two different tools. Okay, one is move, okay, which has the shortcut V, and the other one is scale, okay, which has the shortcut K. Okay, and then next to this option we have a hashtag kind of appearance over here. Okay, so this tells that it is a frame. Okay, so when we saw about Illustrator, we saw something called as artboard. The same thing when we dealt with Photoshop, again, we had artboard, right? So when I explained you about what an artboard is, I told you that an artboard is something that acts like a canvas. Okay, so that will be your frame size. Okay, whatever you are working, you will be working within that particular frame size. So here it is addressed as frame. Okay, and next to it you have section and then slice. Okay, as of now you just keep this frame in your mind. So next to this frame you have okay, now I'll just show you the different types of frame. Okay, if I click this drop down, I can just select this frame. As soon as I select frame, over here some presets are given. Okay, can you see it? So as in Illustrator as well as Photoshop, we were able to see some presets which were already made. Okay, so like that, here also we are able to see some presets of the frame. Okay, so if we want to design it for the phone, we have different orientations of the phone. Okay, and if we are designing something for tablet, we have different sizes for the tab. Then if we are doing it for the desktop, then again the sizes are different over here. Then same way, if we are planning to show some presentation or some PPT kind of appearance, we are able to see presentation presets over here. So like that, even for watch, even for Apple Watch, we have the sizes over here. Okay, and then if we are printing it, sorry, if we are designing something for the purpose of print media, we have different sizes of papers over here. Okay, so if we are doing it for the social media, again we have different sizes of if it is Instagram post, then it is in one size. If it is an Instagram story, then it is in one size. So depending on the media that we are handling, we are able to see some different sizes over here. Okay, then again, we have this Figma community, but this is not so frequently used. Okay, mostly, okay, you also have something in archive, wherein you can just take in some sizes that you want to work with, and then you can uh, work on that particular size. Okay, so as of now, let's say I will just choose this paper. Okay, I will choose this A4. So as soon as I choose A4, an A4 size paper is created over here. Okay, so now I can proceed further, and now I can start designing something for this particular size. Okay, so if I want this A4 size, okay, to appear in landscape. Okay, so do you remember we did the same thing in Illustrator as well as Photoshop? So if you want to have it in portrait, we can just leave it off like that. If you want to have it in landscape, we can just click on this landscape, so that the same A4 sheet will be created in landscape here. Okay, so depending on the orientation that you want to have, you can click on that respective button which is here. Okay, so apart from that, next to this frame, you have the shapes. Okay, so tomorrow I will tell you how to use the shapes here in Figma. So then again, we have this pen tool over here also, as we saw in Illustrator and Photoshop. And again we have text tool. Okay, as the same set of tools whichever we handled in Photoshop and Figma, sorry, Photoshop and Illustrator. So the same set of tools will be available over here. Okay, and here in the right side, you will have a few options where you can make changes to the buttons, or make changes to the user interfaces that you are creating, or if you are planning to create some depth for the icons, you can create that. All these things can be seen from here. Okay, and then next to this, over here in the left side, we have the layers. Okay, so the same layers concepts that we saw in Illustrator as well as Photoshop, the same thing applies over here. So Figma also works depending on the layer. Okay, so whichever you create first will be the bottommost layer, and whichever asset you create after that so that comes um uh, above the bottom layer. So like that, the layers will keep going down as you keep creating new assets. Okay, so this is the basic interface of Figma. All right, so having said this, I will be, as I told you in the earlier part of the class, I will be sending you an image that I captured, and I will not reveal what object is that. Okay, I just want you guys to draw and send me the perspective that you are able to see that object as. Okay, and then you have to send that drawing to my WhatsApp number, from which you are getting notifications, and from which I interact with you in WhatsApp. Okay. So having said this, we will meet tomorrow with exploring different set of tools, and there are much more exciting things that are coming up. So please maintain the same kind of energy, and please feel free to ping me on WhatsApp if you have any doubt or query that I have to address. So I'll be pleased to do that. So having said this, we will wind up for today. Thank you so much, guys. Bye. Take care.